Hello and welcome to Movie Film. I'm Carl and I just watched a brand new movie which came on Netflix just today, Trial of the Chicago 7. So this Trial of the Chicago 7 was written and directed by Aaron Sorkin, the man who wrote The Social Network and Moneyball and various other films throughout Hollywood, but surprisingly, this is only his second directorial film and it's just come out on Netflix. It's got an all-star cast with the likes of Redmayne, Sacha Baron Cohen, Gordon Levitt, a plethora of other people, which we'll get into later on in the review. And this is kind of new territory for a movie film, because if you've checked out anything else on our channel, which I'd highly recommend doing, we generally just talked about old films. Films I like and films I don't like. That's predominantly what the movie channel has been about. So it's kind of new waters jumping into a contemporary film. I don't even have a grading system yet. Do I do A pluses, traditional school grades? Do I do a 1 to 10? Who knows? The Trial of the Chicago 7 is the true story of 7 men who are on trial, although it's actually 8 men including Bobby Seale, for charges relating to an uprising at the 1968 Democratic National Convention in Chicago, Illinois. And you may be thinking, okay, this is going to be a boring movie about a trial. It's going to be a boring criminal type of thing. Maybe that's not your thing. Maybe you like sci-fi films, maybe you like romance films. But this film, it's based on real events and it is heavily based in a courtroom, although they do show flashbacks to the events and they do show recreations of the events that happened in 1968. But the thing is, this film is not boring at all. And you could be forgiven for thinking it might be. Various films set in a courtroom have been. But Aaron Sorkin is a master of storytelling. He knows how to write a good story and keep an audience engaged. And that is very evident in this film. This film is 2 hours long and I was gripped from minute one. Now, I'm Irish. I'm not American. My American history is the basics. I didn't know the events around this movie. It was all new to me. It was all new waters. I didn't know any of the actual people that are involved in this. I never heard of most of these people. So it was all completely new. It was all a completely new story. And watching this movie and then suddenly realizing these events actually happened. These are based on real events. Some of this stuff genuinely happened is shocking. Now, I'm not going to go through the story because that would ruin the movie for you guys. All I can tell you is that, in my opinion, this story is a very well told story with some phenomenal performances, some incredibly shocking moments. The judge in particular in the case, according to the notes at the end of the film, was pretty much known to be a dickhead. He's very biased and that comes across in the movie. Frank Langella, who plays Judge Hoffman, plays it phenomenally. He makes you hate his character. And when an actor can evoke emotion like that out of you, you know they've done a great job. And you do genuinely hate Judge Hoffman if you're a sane person watching this movie. And Frank Langella has done a phenomenal performance right there. I think he could be up for awards for that one. And even though it's called the Trial of Chicago 7, there is actually 8 people on trial because one of the people was Bobby Seale, who was said to be the president of the Black Panther Association. He was the only black man on trial. All the way through the case from the beginning, he isn't given legal counsel. His legal counsel isn't available and they requested postponement and the trial continued without him. The judge wouldn't even allow him to talk to witnesses. This boiled over in a very emotional and hard to watch scene where ultimately the judge told the marshals to grab Bobby Seale, bring him to a room and take care of him, which led to beating him up, which led to bringing him back into the courtroom, chained and gagged. This isn't a fictional movie. This is based on real events. This happened. And that moment in itself is heart-wrenching in so many ways and so disgusting. And it's one of those scenes that makes this a great movie because it does evoke true emotion from you. The other thing that they show throughout the movie, apart from the trial, is recreations of the protests meeting the cops. And all the way through my mind, I just started having flashbacks to a couple of months ago where we were getting those images out of America with Trump's guards against peaceful protesters and tear gas going in and beatings coming along. Back to the movie, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he's kind of in a weird position because he's playing the guy who's prosecuting the people. He's playing the lawyer who has to be the bastard. He has to try convict these guys on charges that he knows are wrong. Right from the start, you can tell his character doesn't agree with the charges being brought forward. He even says it at the beginning, that it's not right to bring these charges forward against these people. And later on, he kind of looks like he's just doing his job. He's just trying to force through what he does. But at the same time, he's trying to be compassionate. He's trying to come across not as the main bad guy. And I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt does a fairly good job in that role of being the bad guy who isn't really the bad guy. Very much so the spotlight is put on the judge and he's made to be the main bad guy. This film also stars Sacha Baron Cohen. In Sacha Baron Cohen, we have seen him do more dramatic roles in recent times, including the likes of Spy on Netflix, and now he's taken on a role which had small comedic elements but very much was a dramatic role, and he shines in this role. He shows what a very good actor he can be. Everybody knows what a great comedic actor Sacha Baron Cohen can be, but here he really shows his acting chops. There was an interesting point in this movie where Eddie Redmayne and Sacha Baron Cohen were having an argument, and suddenly dawned on me, there's two British actors telling the story of American history. Make it out what you will. But Eddie Redmayne, of course, is fantastic in this movie as well. Everyone in this movie puts in a good turn. But for the most part, this is a very enjoyable movie that I wasn't expecting. And if you're looking for a new movie to watch, check it out on Netflix right now. I'd highly recommend The Trial of Chicago 7. I genuinely think it's the best film I've watched this year. Now, saying that, there's not too many new films coming out this year. The other contender was Sonic the Hedgehog, so maybe in a different year, it'll be under a different spotlight. But right now, I think Netflix have a fantastic movie on their hands and potentially one that could win awards. So in summary, fantastic movie. I'd highly recommend it. And that's the end of my review. If you're new to movie film, please consider checking out the other content on our channel. You're sure to find something you like if you like movies. And subscribe for new content every Wednesday and Friday. But for now, thank you so much for watching.